Okay, it's been a couple of hours, everybody. The dough is nice and chilled. The butter has congealed back to more of a solid form, and it's mixed in with the flour and the salt that we did earlier and a little bit of water. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this out onto a lightly floured surface, roll it out, and then fold it over one more time before we get those cannoli molds out and roll this all into a cream horn type shape. Now you can tell this is fairly solid because it has kind of all come back together. So I am going to lightly flour my working surface, not too much, and I'm going to put a little bit off to the side just to kind of dab my hands in. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and place that right on there, and I'm going to lightly flour my rolling pin, and now see how hard that is? It's like so hard you can barely even roll it out. So you're gonna get a little violent, okay? So this is the time to get out all your frustrations, and you're gonna pound it. And you can see it give way as you pound. You can see that butter break down. You kind of lightly flour it because you don't want the flour going everywhere. Now what that does, it breaks the butter down so that it's a little bit easier to roll. And you're just going to roll this out into a nice straight rectangle, and then you're going to work away from you. Now it's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, and you're going to pound this down one more time after you can kind of put your weight on your hands and just kind of push away from you, okay? And this actually is working pretty good. So you can see like the later half of this is getting a little bit thinner. I'm actually rolling it out, starting in the center and rolling away from me. Because what we're going to do is we're gonna go ahead and turn this around. Again, making sure that I have enough flour on my surface, but not too much, that it toughens it back up. And we're just gonna push and kind of lean into it. And that is going to make the best cream horn puff pastry. Now the good thing about this is if you've got a heavier rolling pin, it definitely helps. This wood one is really good. I've also got one with handles that's a silicone one that I use on this as well. So it's just a personal preference on what you like. Like I said in an earlier video, I don't know why I keep so many different kinds of rolling pins, but I just love them. All right, this is actually going really well. Now I've got these little ends, and I'm just gonna roll them up so I can keep a nice clean edge on it. Lightly dust that. And if it starts to break away, just fold it up. I had a little broken piece right there. I'm just gonna fold that right in. Put a little flour to it, and we'll be good to go. Now this is starting to give a little more. I can feel it kind of underneath my rolling pin. Just kind of giving a little bit more. And you're gonna wanna roll this out fairly thin, everyone. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab a pizza cutter really quick, because I, for one, can use a pizza cutter on this a lot easier than I can a knife. I don't know why, I just can. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a clean cut right on that edge, okay? Just so I have a little bit more to work with here. Now we're gonna do these in about 12 inches, or a little bit less than my rolling pin. That's about 12 inches right there, okay? So this is like a 14-inch rolling pin. So you can dig out a ruler if you want to, or you can kind of just take your rolling pin if you know exactly about how big you want it. So I'm gonna go just a hair shorter than my rolling pin. And that is going to be the first set of my cream horns. Now I'm gonna lay that off to the side, and I'm gonna work on this second set right here. I should be able to get two 12-inch sections out of this. And I don't think I'm gonna have a problem at all, because this is rolling out really good. This one may be a hair longer. I may have to make a couple of little pinwheel pastries out of maybe the leftovers. You can do whatever you want with this. That's the good thing. Here, I think that feels about the right thickness, about 1/4 of an inch. That's what we want. That's kind of our magic number. I'm gonna roll this over a little bit, see if I can get a little bit more out of this. This one was a little bit thicker, so not a ton, but just a hair thicker. I think it was on that second roll. So I'm gonna flip that back over. We're gonna measure, and we're gonna cut. And I have all that left over. Okay, everybody, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make strips with this. I'm gonna kind of roll it this way just to widen it just a little more, because we're going to cut this lengthwise and start wrapping our molds. Now, here are the molds, and they're just regular standard cannoli. These are 1 inch, okay? So completely up to you on what you'd like to get, but I got these on Amazon, and like I said, I think I got a package of 24 for $20, something like that. They're stainless steel, they work really, really well. So I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna go ahead and make one clean swipe with my pizza cutter. These work so good, guys. Just grab a pizza cutter. Trying to do this with a knife is just too much. Now, if you want to lay a ruler down or something to gauge it by so that you make sure that it's even, you can do that. But I'm going to show you a little quick trick that I do. I'm going to start about 1 inch. I'm going to make a 1 inch cut, okay? And I can pretty much do a good 1 inch cut partway through. And then just lift it up, measure it to the end, and cut it. And there you have it. Okay? So from here, this is what you're going to do. I want you to dust off any excess flour that you have. And then you're going to start wrapping. You're going to start with one wrap. And this is how you're going to do it. And you know those nice cream horns that you see in the bakeries, everybody? Here it is, right here. All right? And as you go, I want you to press just a little bit. Here, let me back up so you can see it. Okay? See how this is at an angle right here? Press it to seal it. Okay? Now don't forget, this is all butter-based, so this is going to seal on you, no problem at all. And you're going to overlap that as you go, all the way around, and you're going to just barely come together with that. Look at that. That is so good. And then just give it a little press. Just to make sure, now you don't cram it, just press it just a little bit, okay? And there you go. There you have it. So I'm going to go ahead and put these all on a baking sheet. You don't need to grease the baking sheet or anything like that, just a regular cookie sheet. And you're just going to lay these on it just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and keep going. I'm going to fill this baking sheet up, and then we're going to stick them in a 350-degree oven until they're golden brown. That, depending on your oven, may take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Start looking at it around the 10-minute mark, and then just gauge it by there. We'll be back in just a few minutes. These will be coming out of the oven, and they're going to be just delicious. So we'll be right back.